Hi, my name is Ken Bingham with ACM Facility Safety. I'm here today to talk about the ACM quad model. We use this quad model to explain to our clients to try to help them demystify the world of functional safety. Now you see here there's 4 quadrants. These are 4 sequential steps on how to roll out functional safety. Quadrant 1 is we're going to actually talk about, for a new facility, how do we do assessment? How do we assess the risks on that facility? Do we have enough safeguards in place? If we determine that we don't have enough safeguards in place, then we proceed to quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, we actually go into those safeguards, and we actually design those safeguards to the point where we can define the number of components required. From that, in quadrant 2, you can actually do your costing. You can go to vendors and get quotes from the costing. And from that, you can go back to your project manager and help that project manager understand, look, for those safeguards we identified that we're short in Q1, we can actually now go and actually buy that shortfall. It's going to cost you this much. So now you can get management approval to go ahead and buy those safeguards. So in quadrant 3, now that you've bought those additional safeguards, in quadrant 3 the fun starts. So this is where you really get your engineers excited. This is where you can go and you actually start to build, wire, program, and put this system in place and install it in the field. Now once you've finished installing it in the field and you've finished testing that system to make sure it works, now you're going to actually go into operations and maintenance. That's quadrant 4. So in quadrant 4, you're going to be there perhaps for 25 to 50 years for the life of the facility. Quadrants 1, 2, and 3 may take 4 to 12 months. Okay, what we have here is these quadrants, they're not by accident. These quadrants, as per the standard, you have to understand that this is part of the life cycle because this quadrant has to withstand the life of the plant. So you can sort of see here that the standards have all been mapped out into each quadrant. So these are the major clauses that have been mapped into Q1. So for instance, in Q1 you can sort of see that you have to do risk assessment. In Q1 you have to do SIL determination. In Q2 you have to produce some kind of functional spec. You have to do SIL verification. So these are major steps in these quadrants and critical functions that you have to perform, and as per the standard. So if you click on one of these points here, next, this is a standard requirement. So the standards say you shall do certain things if you want to be compliant with the standards. So we'll go back. So underneath this model is actually all the standards have been mapped into each quadrant, and this quadrant, what it attempts to show is this is what the standards say you should do, and then it gives examples, and that's what these PDF files here are representing as examples of what you're supposed to see, just to give the engineer or the user a feel for, oh, this is what I'm supposed to produce. Okay, so that's sort of that's another layer of this quad model, is the compliance to the standards. So there are 2 more layers that we don't have here today, and that's the layer of what training is required for each quadrant and what procedures are required for each quadrant. So those would be 2 additional layers that you normally need to be in compliance with the standards.